more. My name's Rich. You can find me on X at FuzzDoomRip and all the socials at Rich.Paiva, Doom Charts contributor, doing reviews from Wikipedia of Metal. Just got me today, but we are at full house capacity here because we have the entire band of the Oil Barons with us. How are you guys doing today?
What's up?
Pretty good, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So the reason why, number one, congratulations on the new record. And I'll have you guys introduce yourselves, tell everybody what you guys do in the band and all that good stuff. But just wanted to congratulate you on Grandiose, which is the most apropos named album that I've heard in a very long time for lots of reasons. So congratulations on that. You know, you guys were relatively new to me as a band, and this album just kind of came up on me quick and blew me away. We'll get more into that, but if you guys can introduce yourselves and just let us know what you guys do in the band and go from there, that would be awesome.
Sure, yeah. I'm Andrew, and I play the bass guitar, and I sing lead vocals most of the time. The great thing about this album is everyone's singing lead at one point or another, but those are the things I do.
Awesome. How do you do? I'm Lou. I play guitar. On this album, I play a little bit of flute as well. And you'll hear me doing those spoken word bits across the album, across a couple tracks, and they let me sing lead, do a little Elvis for you on one of those tracks.
Crush yourself. Jake?
I'm Jake. I'm the drummer. I got to sing lead on our Grateful Dead cover, and I think my favorite thing is getting to harmonize with Andrew on songs he sings lead on.
Very cool.
And my favorite thing to do is listen to those harmonies. Very, very good. We had so much fun on this record, having Jake and Andrew record at the same time around one microphone. And in the room, I got to record that, and that was great.
Well, who is this man speaking?
Oh, sorry. This is Matt. I play organ and acoustic guitar on the record, and I recorded it with the guys, and we did it all in a trashy rehearsal space downtown in a warehouse.
Matt recorded this album. It should be said. Matt did it. He engineered and mixed.
Engineered and mixed the album, yeah.
And played organ and guitar.
That's right. Yes, thank you. And the principal songwriters in this band are Andrew and Lou, and man, they wrote the hell out of this record. I got one on the record, and I'm happy about it.
You slipped one past the goalie.
Slipped and got one in there, but truly, like, you know, that one was late stage, and these guys wrote the hell out of these songs on this record, and I'm realizing, like, it's the stuff that we've got, any positive review that we've got, I feel like I was successfully got out of the way of really good material in terms of the engineering side of it. So I don't know. These guys, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by the band I'm in.
That's awesome. And the record, kudos to you. The record just sounds, I mean, it lives up to its name. The sound is gigantic. I think what I wanted to, you know, for anyone who doesn't know the band, this is a self-proclaimed moniker, right? Psychedelic Western Doom Rock. Is that something that you guys have come up with?
We have self-applied that genre. Yeah, it's
very apropos. There's somebody who's trying to get into the Zoom here, or Zoom, the Riverside, not the. Oh shit!
Oh.
What the hell? I thought you and I were. All I want to do is talk about, we've got Doom Charts coming out, and I want to make sure Oil Barons are, you know, way up there, and I tune in, and that's who you have?
Literally what I do is go on Facebook, and I look at who people are interviewing and who are talking about it, and I steal their interviews before I get to do it. That is what I do.
You got sniped, man.
Rich is a true American.
Excellent.
Finders keepers.
Exactly. Whoever gets to it first. But in you know, joking aside, Scott on our little group chat, he tends to say things like, "This is my album of the decade. This is my album of the week. This is my album of the year. This is my album of ever." He tends to do that.
So
But
all
then when I
praise
get
is
it,
meaningless.
well, here's the thing. When I get a message when I get a message that says, now I found my album of the year, and there are two other records that he's been talking about so much that I never thought would get over the hump, I actually have to believe him. So I have to give Scott the props here for turning me on to this record, Scott, right? So
Bless you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
What can I say? I have a YouTube channel. I need to build up the hype. But all kidding aside, Grandiose completely screwed up my chart. And I had everything figured out. And I think what you guys did is a phenomenal combination of a good old time Western, Stephen King's Dark Tower. It just has all these elements, and musically it's perfect. The production is absolutely next level. So when I say this is an album of the year contender, I'm serious. I can tell you now it's number 2 for September, but by the end of the year, that's when I sort things out. So, and I had to give Rich a hard time because he's always stealing my interviews.
Yeah. It's kind of what I do. It's kind of what I do. I love the descriptions that you gave there. A couple other things that I hear, and you guys might think I'm crazy, but I'm a big Twin Peaks guy, and I feel like there's like these Twin Peaks vibes that are going on throughout this record also. That makes me very, very happy. And you mentioned this is actually the second interview in a row where the Grateful Dead has been mentioned in an interview. So.
I have a comment to make on the Grateful Dead. I've actually got to go. I've got a patient in a couple minutes.
Wonderful.
I think the biggest thing you guys have done is you're potentially confusing the hell out of thousands of Grateful Dead fans who are going to hear the subtle change in title from Do to Doom. And the other thing is you actually sing in tune, your guitars are in tune, and you all have the same sense of time. So Grateful Dead fans aren't going to know what to make of this.
I don't know whether to be tickled or horribly insulted by this. But it's also, not wrong.
Yeah, and if you could tell the biggest deadhead just by seeing our thumbnails here, it's definitely going to be the guy in the robe and the sunglasses. And he's going to be the one who knows if that's offensive or not. But
actually, that gives me more Bootsy Collins vibes.
These are like Bootsy glasses.
We just love that Lou's just out there. He's out there with all of them. With the Dead, with Bootsy, with all of them. I think that's a compliment, and
it is.
We love that song, and it's one of my favorite to play live.
Well, it's funny the way I got that kind of ties into how this album came about. Well, first of all, I'm a massive David Lynch and Twin Peaks fan, and yes, you are totally hearing Angelo Badalamenti, especially when I'm using the Stratocaster and giving it that kind of Red Room, dreamy whang. That is right out of the Lynch dreamy playbook.
Dreamy Wang.
But exactly, yeah.
That's your side project band that's coming up next, Dreamy Wang.
Sounds good. With the Dead stuff, I got deeply into it in between our last record and this one, and I was trying to get these guys into it, and I made everyone come over and smoke a joint and watch the Grateful Dead movie. And the track that really had everyone do that, that like little seat shift meme where everyone sits forward a little bit and looks, was Morning Dew, and everyone was kind of locked in on Morning Dew and was like, wow, there's something very cool going on here, especially with the dynamics. And that's that was the genesis of getting those guys on board with jamming a little bit more and taking off a little bit of restrictions as far as who's playing what at the same time for how long, and then Dew ended up being a cover of ours.
It's amazing. I do have to go, guys. I just wanted to thank you personally for releasing an album that solidifies 2025. It's one of the best years in underground music that I've ever experienced. And you guys are a big part of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Massive thanks for the support. God. Thank you, dude.
That means a ton.
And it went above the Castle Rat records, right?
Rich,
right,
you
Scott?
Oh, dude, if we beat Castle Rat, I'll be real happy.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're not going to get into debate on Castle. A band that, I mean, come on, they charted. So we should all
They're cool.
be
You know what?
behind
They're cool. At the end of the day, they're cool.
And you're very similar to them with your narrative presentation. And
For
the
sure.
Anyway, I do have a page.
Go, Scott.
Yes,
Go.
Thank you,
go.
guys,
Thank
for
you, Scott.
everything.
Thank you.
Bye, Scott.
You and I got business to settle. Pie.
I look forward to this. Thanks, Scott.
See ya.
See, I mentioned Castle Rat because that was his album of the decade until you guys came along. So it worked out perfectly. I have so many questions. Lou, we have to do at least a couple minutes on Twin Peaks before we end this call because I started rewatching again also. Just recently, I just finished season 1 again. But so this record, obviously, there's some influences from a Dead standpoint, as you mentioned. Where did this whole thing come from? Because this is not something where you just sit down and write, 2-minute punk songs. This is something that obviously takes a lot more thought and probably has grown from a seed and taken a while. Either that or I'm overthinking it. How did this happen?
It's kind of both just kind of there was the genesis of the sound. I remember I was out at this weird outdoor art thing out near Joshua Tree in the desert. Does anybody remember the name of that place? I was there
Nope.
with Charlie. I don't know, this bizarre sun-drenched desert art installment, modern art thing near Joshua Tree. And I had spent the day out there, and I remember texting Andrew as soon as I got back to the car. I'm like, the next batch of songs we write, I want to be real deserty, a lot of space, a lot of landscape, and then also it was
Lou had the title for the album before he had the idea for the album.
Well, yeah,
Grandiose.
Grandiose was the idea, was that amount of space and that kind of vastness, and just the American West landscape. I went to Yosemite not long after that, and that became a part of it too. I'm like, we need the valley, and so really the landscape informed the new direction. And that kind of took the songwriting process in that way. But a lot of the songs just happened to be songs that we were coming up with that we tied into the album concept.
Yeah, and in true Lou Barron fashion, he knew how to say the word grandiose and illuminate the sky when he said the title of the record. He was like, "Guys, the name of the new record is Grandiose." It was really, and for some reason, I think we all heard it at the same time before it was.
I think we had Wizard already written by that point, and it was an easy sell because Wizard is so dramatic and so grand in its musical journey that I'm like, the whole album has to be like this. Well, part of the concept was also alternating between cuts like that with snappier, quicker, more accessible cuts like Gloria and
singing songs.
Yeah, songwritery songs, which through the Barron's filter, man, I love what they wind up being. My mom, real quick, my mom heard Gloria. She loves Gloria. She's like, it's really fun, but it's a very accessible song to our thing that we do. I was like, this is the pop song, and my mom was like, it's very avant-garde. I was like, Gloria?
How about getting to tracks 9 and 10 where it's like, 30 minutes worth of music?
Yeah. Have you ever heard a 16-minute song before, Mom?
Did Mom make it to the back half of the record yet?
I don't think she's heard the whole record yet.
I don't think side 2 is going to see the light of day.
She loves Vivid.
We'll
She loves Gloria. And these songs are things that do appeal to sort of classic songwriting from the American Songbook that I do love. And then when we play them, I love how it becomes, quote, avant-garde. But
she's just talking about that fuzzed out guitar.
That fuzz. What is that?
It's just
fuzz?
a very scary sound.
But the interesting about Gloria is then you go into John Brown's Body, right? The traditional track that she's probably going to recognize also, and she'd probably be like, what's going on here? But
according to the Civil War.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting transition, and I almost feel like there's not really a place to stop when you listen to the record, and it's just kind of an ongoing hour and 20 minute or so, right? I think it's about hour 15, hour 20.
15, yeah.
1:15.
Just like full, like almost like motion picture, just end to end. Have you thought about it? And you guys just seem very artistic in this way. Have you thought about this, like from a visual standpoint, like what this would look like as like, you know, a movie or short films or parts of this, not like a video, but just in general? Like, is that how you were thinking when you were writing this, or did it just kind of come together, you know, putting songs that you specifically wrote for this and other ones that you might have had?
Well, we were definitely leaning heavily into the visuals lyrically, because that's the most juicy stuff. I also wanted to use words that could describe both color and sound at the same time. There's a lot of that going on.
Give us
So
one
yeah,
example.
without having the unfamiliar tone
An otherworldly tone.
in the wizard's eyes,
I love that. And also Utah Kodachrome.
otherworldly.
Utah Kodachrome is both
And Utah
a
Kodachrome,
geographical place and a color.
So it wasn't a very tangible concept, but it did. We were definitely seeing things when we wrote it.
Yeah, there's I don't think I told Andrew or Lou this, but Jim Henson made one graphic novel called The Tale of Sand that came out in, I think, the 80s. That when I listened to the tracks, I think about this book visually, and it's no dialogue, it's all art. And it's just a guy's weird journey through a desert.
Jake, do you own this? Bring it tonight.
I'll bring it to practice.
Please, I want to see this.
That's very cool.
And Rich, it's cool
Awesome.
that you noticed the seamlessness of the record. It was very important for me for it to be a kind of a nonstop journey, or maybe a little break between sides. But I don't know if you caught this. It is cyclical. The very last notes on the record are the exact same as the very first notes on the record. So you could spin it ad infinitum.
Yeah.
So speaking of spinning, I do have to ask you, as a guy who digs physical media, and this seems like one that would be a little bit of an undertaking given the length, but any thoughts to a physical release for this record, as there are some people who I think would love to get their
Any investors, any
dirty little hands on it.
Yeah.
hello, paging all labels. Yeah, we don't have the dough, but like as soon as we do, that would be amazing.
We want it.
Hey, if you can
It
just
really
cover
was.
cost of production, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I know a guy who's starting a label. More to talk on that later.
Great.
I do know a guy who's starting a label. You guys are also extremely well dressed in your picture on Bandcamp that I'm staring at right now. If we see the Oil Barons in concert, do we get the t-shirt robe view of you guys, or do we get the very well dressed guys on the Bandcamp page?
Well,
You get a
we're
scintillating
theater-
combination.
Yeah, we've done some pretty. I think we did one show where we were all in Elvis jumpsuits. We did a show where we were all rodeo clowns. Like we lose a makeup, sort of amateur makeup professional. He's incredible.
We did that was Blackened Ranch for Halloween. We wore ranch wear, and I did corpse paint on everybody. So we went to Blackened Ranch, which is the name of my favorite dipping sauce at Popeyes. We are playing the whole record live in just a couple days. I alluded to practice tonight. We have the album release show on Saturday, October 4th at the Virgil. We're playing with the Freaks, and
Awesome.
we don't have any coordinated outfits, but I know I'm going to look great. I have this 70s paisley nightmare of a shirt and these brown corduroy bell bottoms. So I'm going to slap those on and do a little accessorizing. And I think Andrew mentioned something about opening his kimono.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Opening my kimono. That's for the encore.
It's very crucial. Are you opening?
I've
with
got
the
an
kimono,
I've got
or
an
are you
orange
opening
kimono.
the kimono? Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out. It's one of those things where my wife looks at me and goes, "I don't think you should do that," and then I know that's what I should do.
But then you always
I
end up
haven't got
looking
that
cool.
look yet.
Well, there was that night you dressed as Elaine Stritch, and you looked incredible.
Yeah.
I
That
find
was
that
awesome,
Andrew can
I had to find a
honestly-
kitten heel real quick.
Andrew,
Anyone have a kitten heel in a size 12 tonight?
I feel like in Los Angeles, you'll probably be able to track that down at some pretty easily, I assume.
It's the 9.
That's a great point. I did, and I was.
The Freaks are awesome. Love those guys. That should be a pretty amazing show. Andrew, Matt, do you haul around an organ with you when you go play live?
Oh man, I'll tell you what a big boon it was the day I got a case with wheels. I'll tell you that right now. When we first got, I sort of was absorbed slowly into the Oil Barons, and Lou was starting to hear organ on some of the old songs from the other record that only has a little bit on the record, but he was hearing more and more organ, and he wanted that aspect. And Jake had a contact for this Chord CX3, which is very cool. And so I was coming in as a feature, playing on like 4 or 5 songs live for a while. And then I didn't have a case. I was carrying it around like a dope. When we played out in the desert in Joshua Tree, I took it out without a case. And I set it down on the ground, and people were just like kicking sand into it. That was an expensive repair. So I bought a case with wheels, and my life changed, and now I can actually feel like a professional musician.
Excellent. I am a sucker for and you put organ in music for me. It just pulls me in, and the way you guys leverage it, it's just another reason why I love this record. I want to pronounce it correctly. Quetzalcoatl Catanango? Close?
About 50% of the way there.
Okay, help me.
First pass.
Quetzalcoatl.
Okay.
It has its origins in Aztec gods, but ours is specifically from The Simpsons.
God, and I'm disappointed with myself as probably the biggest Simpsons fan that I know. That didn't jump out.
The chili contest, the homeless spirit journey. He eats the chili pepper of insanity.
Yes.
So deep cut to be rude. Cash plays the coyote and takes him on that spiritual journey to the light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
no,
we lost Andrew. We'll find it.
His spell was getting a little wonky.
But once you do grab,
Andrew just got.
He's like, I got to follow the coyote. Once you do get it, once Quetzalcoatl lands in the mouth and teeth, it's so fun to say. You can't. You walk around the house saying it. You can't stop.
Your guys are slowly transitioning into my favorite band with both Twin Peaks and Simpsons references that we're talking about right now. It's
men of taste.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. Generally, most of my conversations include some kind of Simpsons discussion, whether it's telling people to help me Jeebus or saying what's a Gaiam when I walk past the gym and people looking at me like, what are you, an idiot? So those are types of things that happen every day.
With Andrew vanishing, we actually just lost the biggest Simpsons fan in the band. Yeah.
You guys are good. You guys could do the last 30 with the Simpsons. Everything comes back to the Simpsons with Mr. Huber there.
That's how I roll too, without a doubt.
My most quoted character is Hans Mole Man.
I was saying Boo Earns. Yes, absolutely.
Boo Earns.
That whole episode where Burns doesn't want Spielberg but gets Steven Spielbergo is just one of the most ridiculous things. That's just wonderful.
I get Hey Big Spender stuck in my head at least once a week, but it's the version from when Homer is at the what is it? Not a yard sale. Is it a yard sale, Andrew?
It's like a block sale, yeah.
Block sale, yeah.
They're like just everyone's bringing out their stuff to sell on the block.
Yeah.
When Disco Stew, that's not when we first meet Disco Stew. It is when we first meet Disco Stew.
I think it might be.
Okay, yeah. This makes me very, very happy.
And then George Bush moves in across the street.
We were chatting, Andrew, when we lost you for a second about how much The Simpsons is just in my daily life and how much I love that show and quote that show and how important it is to me. Have you heard the band Dr. Colossus? Have you heard them? They are a Simpsons-based doom band out of Australia. What? And musically, they're awesome. But everything is about The Simpsons. Like, I can't believe you don't own. It's gonna blow your mind.
I might have seen some images. Do they dress are they in yellow paint? Do they dress as the Simpsons? Because I've seen some band do it. I don't know.
There's the Flanders metal band.
It's not that.
Yeah. That's a different Simpsons band.
I know about the Flanders band.
Yeah.
So the Dr. Colossus record, I can't believe that you guys don't know this, especially you, Andrew. It's gonna completely blow your mind. They have a song called Lard Lad, which is like the greatest song. The album cover is like the cover of the Sleep record, but it's Simpsons. And the record is called "I'm a Stupid Moron with an Ugly Face and a Big Butt, and my butt smells like." So this is what we're talking about. I think I have made your day. You got to listen to the record later. Also, one more thing. My Wi-Fi was called Max Power for the longest time, and my wife's like, "Please make it stop saying Max Power." I'm like, "I got it off a hairdryer." Anyway, we're done with all that.
Max Power.
We're going to go back to the record.
Real quick, I do have a hybrid Sleep/Simpsons sticker.
Oh, yeah, I love that sticker. It's the one where Homer's like all cozy.
I have a sleep sticker, and it's Homer all cuddled up in bed, and it says sleep in the band's font.
Love it. I cannot wait for you to hear that Dr. Colossus.
The episode where he skips church. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like we
might wind up being a Simpsons podcast at some point. Back to the record, because I want you guys I want everybody to hear this record. Other influences that I'm hearing, and usually I'm like 50-50 on people and bands that I call out that I think I'm hearing. I'm a big My Morning Jacket fan. I don't know if you guys are a fan of My Morning Jacket, but I especially towards the tail end of this record, I
know a few tracks from like.
Thanks, Andrew. That was inaudible.
Am I lagging? I think I'm a little slow here.
Bad lag.
Go ahead.
What's the one that I like? It's like that one really weird one. It's called Highly Suspicious. Is that a My Morning Jacket song?
Yeah, that's them. Yep.
That's the one that I love from them.
Peanut butter pudding surprise.
I don't know much else.
Yeah, they have like this kind of it's this kind of big sound without being like I don't know how to explain it, without being overproduced and without being like too much, because nothing gets me more than like too much production. You can be big and not be overproduced, which is I think where you guys kind of fall from a sweet spot standpoint from a sound.
They are an incredible live band. I think I probably have I only listened to one My Morning Jacket record, and I don't think it's necessarily in our writing, but in terms of that band being a band that likes to play in the room and just really get the right take. And I did see them at Lollapalooza, 15 years ago in Chicago. And they were the best sounding band in terms of they're not I love them, but in terms of what they do, I was like, it's 100%. It was just it was exact everything that they wanted to achieve, they were achieving, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it just sounds so good. And I think a lot of the records are achieved with them in the room, and that is something that we did. The bass, the core elements of every song, the four of us played our instruments live together, and then there were overdubs to expand the arrangements. But
the overdubs, even the overdubs were not super controlled. They were still miking amps and getting a take and getting a performance. We weren't going through it note by note. So there's mistakes left in there on purpose. There's feedback. There's pick noise. That's what makes an album sound alive. And anything that's too clean, I think that's where when you say overproduced, that's what I think of, is something that's just really clean and kind of at the same volume the whole time. And I just nod off. It just is terribly boring. It doesn't sound alive. It doesn't sound as any electricity.
I think it's also listening to this record, I would not have guessed and this is a compliment, that you guys were in the same room doing this. The fact that you played this record, all in the same room, and got the sound that you got, I think it's just kind of the way that you guys mesh. That's very impressive. And also, Matt, whatever you did from a sound standpoint to get this record to sound the way it does. I compliment you on that, because it feels like there's so much going on that you might not be able to get that sound all sitting in a room and translate that to a live a live show or just live with the four of you in a room?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have to make choices when we play live. Like, we have to choose like, the most important things to include because we can't play everything. Like, Lou can't play the flute and the guitar at the same time. I mean, he's tried, but he can't do it. We begged, he can't do it. And so, yes, we do have to make choices. But yeah, I think it was what helped despite there is a lot going on, the ear can still grab onto it because at the center of it, the thing that we were building around was that band that was humans, trying to just playing off of each other. And then everything else got to sort of be set dressing. But we had the beating heart at the center of all the tracks. One track, Andrew, the vocal even. So most tracks, we had demo vocals and stuff, but it was so noisy. I mean, we didn't have any baffling in the room we were in. So the drums were next to the vocal mic and everything. But Gloria was the demo vocal in the room the scratch vocal that we did in the room, and he did stuff that day because it's just like he was throwing it away almost, or not even that, he was just unencumbered.
So loose, yeah.
This is
loose
this
and
is
comfortable.
just for today. We're just in the moment, and then we listen back to it, and I'm like, buddy, I've never heard you sing it like this, and it's just so good, and there's no reason to just sing it again. Like you did it. So
nailed it.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite vocals. My buddy heard, I was on the phone with him and he heard it in the background. He's like, "What's that vocal?" I was like, "Really? Through the phone?" But yeah, so we kept it. But stuff like that is the kind of stuff we wanted to.
Speaking of vocals, Jake as the drummer, and I don't want to presume here, but I don't think you haven't sung a lot for this band. Maybe you sung in the past, or have you?
The second most.
Second most.
He is the harmony man.
On the first record, there's some harmonies in the first record that I.
Vitch, you're in the Oz on Vitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's other spots too, but generally when Andrew needs a harmony in a live or recorded situation, Jake is the high harmony man behind the kit.
Nice.
You can hear that really clearly on Wizard.
Okay, so singing is something that you do a lot of, but being the lead vocals, is that something that it was relatively new, or is this something that you've done in the past? Or?
Yeah, no. My favorite drummer told me once, every drummer wants to be a frontman. So, and I know a lot of drummers who can really sing and never get a shot. And I only play drums because Phil Collins exists. So any opportunity to try and replicate that experience, I was like, fuck, I get to do it finally. In front of people, whole other thing for me. But at least I'm in back.
All right. I have a lot of Phil Collins questions about.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love Genesis, and I also love like Phil Collins solo stuff too.
Yeah.
Where give me your top three Phil Collins related songs off the top of your head.
I'm so bad with song titles. I know I could give you my three favorite Phils of his.
Please.
But
it's a drummer.
Welcome to Phil's.
Right. The live track of Back in New York City on Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, I think is the best drum track of all time.
Wow.
Song titles, I'm terrible. He had on the But Seriously solo record, there's that short track called Saturday Night and Sunday Morning that's like a swing song that I just used to listen to. If I can ever play that one day, I'll consider myself average.
Well, Jake, there's the album you told me about.
What'd you say?
You put me on to Selling England by the Pound, and that's an incredible album.
Selling England by the Pound, but his fusion band Brand X, I think Disco Burn was the name of the first track on that one record. People don't know the full breadth of Phil's drumming capabilities outside of the musician community. Like, musicians get it, but he's much maligned for writing some shitty ballads, and he wrote some shitty ballads, but holy fuck, I think without him, the 80s wouldn't have been nearly as interesting as they were for music.
I would agree with that. And the Miami Heat wouldn't have a song that play when they came out. And,
right.
There's the pop culture, just element of Phil Collins is there. But to your point, I think he does get a little slack. I don't think he gets as much credit for what he did in that band, because to be in Genesis, you had to be able to hang with those guys, right?
Yeah.
They were, no slouches in
Nope.
Genesis. So
I will also say, just because I don't get a chance to say it very much, he gave me my first drum set.
wow.
So that's really why I play.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I got a chance to meet him. His son had outgrown his junior pro kit, and he shipped it to my house.
Holy crap! Wow,
And that's why I play drums.
that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm gonna have to go listen to some Genesis after this, while Andrew listens to Dr. Colossus, hopefully. And Lou, you mentioned, they kind of all pointed to you as the deadhead of the crew. Is that where you go to, if you say there's a band that influenced you, or is it just that and a million other things? Because I hear so much going on in your music, but
that's the latest thing I've introduced to my, latest ingredient in the soup. Getting into the Dead. And I think a lot of musicians would agree with this, and that's the reason there's so many Dead bands out there. Is it's just candy for a musician, because it opens up the instrument in a way that I, as a rock guitarist, had not been thinking about the instrument. And Andrew would attest to this. He's always told me that my playing has improved since getting to the Dead, and it gives you music theory in a super accessible way. So that was big for me. But before the Dead, it was mostly a lot of the greats that a lot of us would cite: Tony Iommi, Brian May, David Gilmour, probably my number one, and then a few of the other weirder guys like Richard Thompson and Mark Rebo, Jack White to a huge extent as well. But yeah, Dead is like the latest thing that I have been having fun incorporating into my own toolkit.
it's awesome. I had a work thing in Las Vegas, and my buddy's like, let's go see Dead and Company at the Sphere.
Dude,
and I'm like,
the Sphere, man.
So we went, and I wasn't a casual Dead fan, but seeing that was like, oh my God. And I also had to, because my buddy went to go see John Mayer with his wife, and he's like, oh, John Mayer's great. I'm like, oh God, he's such a douchebag. And then I watched him, and I'm like, oh my God, he's really good. I'm texting her to think, I'm like, I'm so sorry. You were so right about John Mayer. So yeah, it was.
I went up to the Sphere with no tickets for Jerry's birthday weekend last year in August, with the intention of seeing all three shows. I saw two of them for free, and I paid for one of them. And John was actually down a finger for those shows. He slammed his fretting hand, middle finger, in a car door, and was playing with a huge handicap. I think it was either middle finger or pointer finger. I can't remember, but it was like an insane, it's like boxing with an arm tied behind your back, but he was incredible. He played so great. And as a matter of fact, he was finding new, it slowed him down, which by necessity made him find new ways of doing things, things that had become comfortable and familiar, he had to find a new way around it. And I just thought that brought out some tremendous playing. All three nights were incredible that weekend.
Yeah, it definitely gave me a different view on those things, and the Dead and the visual aspect of the whole thing. Yeah, man, what they do there. I mean, I bought a $25 Guinness, but other than that, it was.
Well, I was going to drop acid, but I'm like, all right, so let's test the waters here on this first night and just smoke a joint and eat an edible. And that was with the combination of that with the already built-in effect of the house. Good Lord, I am so happy I did not take acid that weekend.
Yeah,
it is truly not necessary at the
the stairs are like this too, like it's like a very, very steep slope to go from the top down, and I could see people missing a step now and then based on.
I was down on the floor for 2 nights, and man, it was fun down on the floor, and just be able to look back and spin around and see the whole deal.
Wow.
Well, guys, this has been amazing. I know we got off on some other tangents, but the key to bring us back in for everybody who's listening, there's lots of keys. But number one, Grandiose. Lou, you say it. You say it better than I do.
Grandiose.
There you go.
Well, that had a question mark on it. Grandiose.
There it is.
There it is.
Grandiose.
Yeah, he did the thing with the hands too.
The new record from Oil Barons, it came out on September 26th, screwed up lots of people's Doom charts. It's amazing. And what I would say is, even for people who have a short attention span, and you guys know who I'm talking to, I'm looking at specific people who I know can't handle songs more than 6 minutes sometimes. There's stuff for you on this record. Hang in, because it's friggin' awesome. I love it. I just put it on, whether I'm paying attention and like really diving into the record, or if I just have it on in the background. Either way, it works. There's so much going on. I hear something new every single time, and just really congratulations on an amazing, amazing release. I think you guys have something really special here. I think more people need to hear it, and hopefully through this and through Scott and through other people who love this record, you will. And I have some ideas for vinyl. We can talk later, but what do you guys? Anything you guys want to say about the record before we end the show?
Well, I just want to thank you and Scott and the Rev and all these people who are supporting it, and we got some very favorable reviews that I was very happy with, and really the goal in making music is, in the capacity that we do, which is not for money, which is almost a comical. It's just to get it into the ears of people who will dig it, man. And the way that you are an evangelist for good shit is how I always go about my days. I'm always pushing the latest thing that I'm into on people. I'm like, you gotta check it out. It's so cool. So to have guys like you doing that for us is tremendous, and we thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you,
Rich. Your in-depth listen of it, and I said this to the guys before, like the fact that you are taking your time, not just with us, but with all the stuff that you listen to. Like, if you would have listened as intently as you did to this record and gave it a bad review, I would have been excited just by how much you care and are involved in the community and helping it. So it's just nice to be heard and talked about in any way, in a world that is so just information all the time, that anybody would listen to this monster that we created. I kind of always assumed that nobody would ever hear it. So it's just really, really awesome. So thank you for all that you're doing.
And it's not, at least when we decided it was time to make a second record, it's not the record we set out to make, and it took a while. I feel very privileged to be in a band with these three brains and watching them kind of go to work on what else could we try. And that a lot of reviews say we don't know what genre to say these guys are playing is the best fucking compliment.
Absolutely. And just for anybody listening who's in the LA area, the record release show, tell us about that again, the dates.
Yeah,
where?
That's this Saturday, October 4th. It's at the Virgil. That's in East Hollywood. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard and Virgil. And music starts at 7 with the Freaks. And if you guys don't know the Freaks, they're like this 70s style punk surf jam proto metal. There's the flyer flying right over.
The credits are rolling.
Doors are at 6 p.m. and we're going to be spinning the tunes all night. So I got this great playlist from before the bands, in between the bands, and afterwards. And it's just going to be a really fun night. Just $10. We're not trying to fleece you.
It's awesome. Thank you, guys. Go see them if you guys are local. I would love to see that. Grandiose, the Oil Barons. Thank you, guys. This has been awesome.
Thank
you so much.
Keep it loud. Keep it heavy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.